After the successful launch of Nova 6, not even 2 months later, Dr. Low Robot dropped another groundbreaking mod for Black Ops 1, Project Thor.
Dr. Schroader's here. Project Thor. Of course. I knew he'd come back for it.
Greatness comes only when you're really tested.
Thor announcement protocol enabled.
Moving on from the map 5, this mod takes us to the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, where the original map Ascension takes place. The 5 crew of JFK, Castro, McNamara, and Nixon all return to meet up with a new sentient AI character to try and stop Dr. Schroader for good. If you haven't checked out my video on the previous mod in the series, Nova 6, there's a link on your screen and in the description now so you can get familiar with the story and background of this amazing series. Project Thor boasts many of the new gameplay additions that were introduced in the previous map. Let's take a look at some now. There's a whole new UI art style, and it has a mechanical aesthetic with some Soviet Union imagery mixed in. It gives a unique feel to stand out from the regular Zombies experience. It also has a custom soundtrack. Project Thor boasts a whole new arsenal of over 30 weapons from Call of Duty Ghosts, Black Ops 3, and Advanced Warfare. It also has 2 new wonderweapons with their own upgrade paths. We'll touch on those in a little bit, along with the new specials weapon. Pack-a-Punching applies a blue animated camo to your weapon that kinda looks like a knockoff version of the Origins camo, and your bullets have blue tracers. One cool thing I noticed is that I bought the Ripper from Ghosts off the wall, and you're able to change the scopes on it with a button press, and it also swaps models. I'm pretty sure this was in Nova 6 as well, but I can only imagine how difficult that was to add in Black Ops 1. The map adds in a few new perks that weren't originally in Ascension. Deadshot Daiquiri and Double Tap 2.0 make an appearance. The Gobblegum machine from Nova 6 returns with some upgrades. You can get a Perkaholic from it now. Project Thor also introduces a whole new mechanic to the map by adding a jetpack you can grab near stamina. It functions more like a double jump, but still adds a whole new level of movement to the game. The parasites from Nova 6 return in place of the monkey rounds. The landers still fall from the sky and the atmosphere of the round stays, but the parasites act similar to dogs and don't attack perks. There's a mini music Easter egg added where you interact with a small box with sands on it that plays Megalovania from the game Undertale. If you can remember, keep Undertale in the back of your mind for when we go over the next map in the series. So you should subscribe to be notified when I drop my next video to find out what I'm talking about. Now let's get back to those 2 wonder weapons. As you make your way through the map, you might notice boxes with satellite dishes over them. These are soul boxes you must fill in order to obtain one of the map's wonder weapons, the HD-40 Experimental. The HD-40 Experimental is literally the HD-40 from Black Ops 3 with a cool camo, and every few shots it has a frost blast effect that freezes and damages surrounding zombies. There are 2 upgrade paths you can take for the HD-40 found in the rocket pad. Let's go over the Thunder variant first. The upgrade process involves shooting 3 targets around the map that are only visible when riding the lander, then getting 50 kills with the frost blast effect, then jumping through different targets around the map with your jetpack. Once you jump to the last one, a beeping noise will start playing near the centrifuge. You must now get 30 kills in the danger zone of the centrifuge. Once complete, the upgrade part will spawn from a portal nearby. Take it back to the rocket pad and build the upgrade. It's called the Resonance Cascade, and produces a thunder gun effect every few bullets. Now the fire upgrade starts the same way by grabbing the quest from the launch pad. The first step here is to shoot 3 red targets around the map. They're pretty easy to spot and you don't need to use the lander for them. Next, get 30 kills near the stamina fire trap. After the kills, 4 red targets will spawn around the map, but they only appear after the previous one is destroyed. You have to use explosives to get rid of them. I found cooking a grenade is the easiest way and they aren't too hard to hit. The next step is getting 30 kills at the other fire trap near the launch pad. After that's done, a portal will spawn with the upgrade part in it. Simply take it back to where you picked up the quest and now you have your fire upgraded HD-40. It's called the Passionate Vehemence, and shoots PhD explosions every couple bullets. The other wonder weapon is the Blunderbuss from Advanced Warfare. This can only be obtained out of the box and has 3 separate upgrades. The way to upgrade these is just by holding interact at different locations around the map, usually using your jetpack. The Space Cats variant is found near the spawn teddy bear. The Thunderpipe variant is near where you shoot the Gersh device during the normal Ascension Easter egg. The last variant is the Dragonfire, which is found above the stairs near Mule Kick. Each of these variants give the Blunderbuss a unique new look and can be pack-a-punched. They don't seem to be functionally different. They might do more damage, but I can't really tell. Project Thor also has its own specials weapon, which, as you should remember, specialist weapons were not around until Black Ops 3. The specialist weapon here is the gravity spikes. They function exactly like their BO3 counterpart, but these have custom animations and code written by the mod developers. They weren't just straight up copy and pasted from BO3, which makes this an extremely impressive feat to add into the game. The spikes are quite easy to build. The 3 parts can be obtained as follows: by riding to any lander, killing the last parasite of the parasite round, and picking up a part from the launch pad. Now that we've gone through all the gameplay features along with the map's unique wonder weapons, let's dive into the map's main quest. The map launches by throwing you directly into the Cosmodrome. No slow lander descent while turning black and white. A friendly sounding voice calls out to you from the centrifuge, happy that someone finally showed up. He tells you to go to the control room to open the emergency hatch and let him out. An automated voice then blares from the speakers, stating that the Thor announcement protocol is enabled, and that the launch sequence is awaiting power activation.
Hello? I can hear you. I'm in the centrifuge. I can't believe it. Someone's finally here. Just, go to the centrifuge control room and open the emergency hatch.
Thor announcement protocol enabled. Thor launch protocol awaiting power activation.
After making your way up the map and turning on the power, the regular announcement from Ascension plays, telling you that the rocket is approaching the test position. But it is appended with a notice that a utility bot is detected and maintenance protocols are online. The rocket begins to move to the launch pad, but it looks a little different than you remember.
Main power online. Auxiliary power deactivated. Rocket approaching test position.
Utility bot A05 detected. Maintenance protocols online.
You're now able to open the hatch on the centrifuge and let your new friend out. But before you do, an old friend makes himself known. Dr. Schroader comes over the announcement mics and explains that the different rocket you noticed earlier is actually Project Thor, a super weapon satellite of his design, and once it's in orbit, nothing can stop him from his ultimate plan.
Oh, wow. Look who it is. Surprised to hear from me?
Navigation systems. Awaiting security protocol 13255.
See that? Project Thor. A weapon I worked on with an old colleague. Once it's in orbit, nothing will stand in my way. Step aside and let me finish what I started.
Once you open the centrifuge hatch, what looks like an iBot from Fallout pops out. He exclaims he's been stuck inside since the outbreak started. Dr. Schroader is shocked that our new friend named Cullman is still alive and that he thought he could dispose of him in that iBot. Cullman refers to Schroader as an old friend when he tells him that putting him in that iBot made him no longer mortal.
Centrifuge emergency override enabled.
Finally. Thank you. I've been stuck in there since this whole outbreak started.
Cullman?
Dr. Schroeder's here.
I thought I had disposed of you in that iBot.
Oh, I'm very much alive, old friend. Just not mortal. Did you forget what these iBots were for?
Regardless, I will succeed. You're worthless in that state.
We'll see about that.
Cullman makes his way up to the power switch where the player is supposed to follow him. He discovers that Project Thor is getting prepared for launch. He tells us that it's impossible to stop the launch, but we can try and override the controls. Cullman suggests that we can use the Thor Satellite to defeat Schroader.
Project Thor, of course. I knew he'd come back for it. We can't stop the launch, but we can override the controls. We can use Thor to defeat him. I'll meet you at the launch pad.
You both then go to the launch pad to assess the situation. Cullman goes up into the rocket and tries to gain access to it, but accidentally trips the security.
Cullman, what are you doing?
Unauthorized access to Thor rocket protocol. Security fallback activated.
Isn't that unfortunate?
Damn it! Security's tripped! Okay, power station. Access the 4 servers in the power station. It should give us access to the security override.
The player must then override the security by interacting with different computers on the floors below the power switch.
Security override accepted. Reference code 05-103.
Alright, we're getting somewhere. But now, we need to stop the fuel from entering the rocket. Turn the valve underneath the rocket launch site. It'll pressurize the pipes and cause them to leak.
Once the security is bypassed, the fuel has to be stopped from entering the rocket. You go turn on a valve on the launch pad, but that causes a leak. So you must use your HD-40 experimental with the frost blast effect to seal 4 different fuel pipes around the map.
Alert. Fuel leaks detected. Cut off fuel supply or seal immediately.
Fuel levels are dropping!
Okay, good. Now, use the HD-40 experimental to freeze the pipes. From what I can see, there's 4 leaks.
Once this is done, since the fuel levels are no longer adequate for launch, it's postponed. This gives us enough time before the launch in order to install a remote override on the satellite.
Alert. Fuel levels dropped. Launch postponed.
Exactly what we wanted.
Do you even know what you're doing?
Now we need to install the remote override into the Thor Satellite. There should be a piece of hardware in one of these rocket crash sites. You should be able to use some sort of kinetic blast to force it out.
We have to use our gravity spikes near it down the rocket in order to uncover the device.
This weapon could make a weaker man lazy.
Take it to the launch scaffolding and mount it onto the Thor Satellite.
We have to go near the sickle walleye and boost up to the ledge with our jetpack. Doing this teleports us outside the playable area and up near where we can physically mount the hacking device onto the satellite. This section can get a little buggy because there's a lot of things that don't have collision and there's plenty of invisible walls. Once you mount the device, Schroader notices and accuses you of tampering with his research. Cullman suggests we override the landers to use as an escape route once we complete our mission.
Are you tampering with my research?
Alright, we're going to need to find an escape route. The landers. There's a few power converters near the lander station. Find out which one is active and bring the override online.
To do that, we have to find out what landers have a sparking generator near them and fill them up with souls. If you're in solo, it's only 2, but in co-op it requires you to fill all 4.
More tender than roast beef.
Lander station override accepted.
Cullman, stop this, now!
All lander station overrides complete. Return to original station to enable destination override.
Almost there. Finalize the lander override in the centrifuge's control room.
Once we fill up the generators, we have to go to the centrifuge controls in order to input where we want our overridden lander to take us.
Run if you must, but
Lander
you cannot hide
destination
from me,
overrides online. Undefined station available.
Now we can navigate the lander manually, wherever we want to.
Guess I shouldn't have made those budget cuts.
Active station count 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
Come back to the power switch.
We regroup with Cullman, and he drops some important intel on us. He tells us Schroader isn't the real threat in the grand scheme of things. Cullman reveals that Dr. Robot put us in this situation and caused all of the outbreaks to happen, even though he's been helping us throughout the maps. Dr. Robot seems like this universe's Dr. Monty, as his name is plastered on the Gobblegum machines, and all of the chalk drawings have a unique flair to them. He put together this timeline of events, and if we go on to defeat Schroader now, it would anger him because it wasn't the way he intended it to go. Cullman has a plan to apprehend him, but we have to deal with Project Thor first. He will do some work on the satellite to make sure we can control it with the device we put it on earlier.
Alright, I'm going to lay something a little heavy on you. Dr. Schroader isn't much of a threat. There is someone much more threatening, and they're responsible for everything that's happening. And that threat is the very man who seems to have been helping you all along. Dr. Robot. He put you here, and he caused all of this to happen. He wrote the story, and you are all part of it. Defeating Schroader out of line with the story Dr. Robot had set up will anger him. I do have a plan to apprehend him, but for now, just listen to what I tell you and be ready for anything. Everything is set up to go. I just need to do some work to the satellite to completely enable our control relay. I should be able to complete it before Dr. Schroader thaws the fuel pipes. But I will need you to cover me should Dr. Schroader attempt anything. I'll meet you at the launch pad when you're ready, but hurry!
We go down to the launch pad to provide Cullman with some cover as he takes action. A neat remixed version of Megalovania plays throughout the final battle sequence. This foreshadows something we'll see on the next map. We get locked inside of the launch pad as Dr. Schroader sends in waves of the undead to try and stop us. After about 5 minutes have passed, Cullman will be done with the relay and the doors to the gantry will open, and we have to take cover in there while the rocket launches. Schroader goes ahead with the launch, expecting Project Thor to help complete his master plan. We then have 2 minutes to get to the lander to take us a safe distance away from the Cosmodrome before Thor is in orbit.
All launch protocols complete. Clear the launch pad.
He is forcing the launch! Get inside the gantry! Hurry!
Initiating launch protocol. Systems check number 1. Status update complete. 5, 3, 2. Warning. Launch in progress. Stage 3 initiation complete. Lunar protocol online.
I've activated the Thor targeting systems. You have 2 minutes to move to the landing before Thor is in orbit.
How are you not dead yet?
Warning. Remote weapon system override detected. Targeting systems locked. Estimated time until orbit. 1.5 minutes.
All out. So be it.
Schroader becomes furious when he finds out the targeting systems were overridden and are locked onto the Cosmodrome. We must find our way around newly blocked pads in order to get to the Stamina Up lander. Once there, we step on and then escape, as the whole map turns to rubble. With the Project Thor satellite in orbit, we now have access to a plethora of information that will help us find out how best to deal with Dr. Robot. Comparing Project Thor's Easter egg to the standard Ascension Easter egg is night and day. It has a rich, easy to follow story, and the steps are fun and not obscure. It boasts its own wonder weapons. Although they are reused assets, they have a unique twist with a special upgrade path or custom variants that you can find around the map. The extra gameplay features, such as Gobblegum, allow for replayability, hoping that you pull that elusive Perkaholic. The attention to detail is also very notable. The Matryoshka dolls representing the Invictus crew have been replaced with the 5 crew, which is very neat. One big improvement from Nova 6 is the clarity of the voice acting. I can hear every voice line super clear, and this greatly enhances the ease of the main quest and the enjoyability of the story. I was a little disappointed about the parasites coming back. I feel like even a simple model swap for something different could have helped, or even keep the monkey AI and have them attack perks. I feel like that would have made them a little bit more fresh. I experienced a semi-game breaking bug when I purchased the sickle off the wall. For the rest of the game, I couldn't sprint, interact with anything, or swap weapons. Luckily, the final boss fight and the end sequence could still be completed. Like I've said before and will continue to say, without proper mod tools and a small development team, bugs are expected and not really that big a deal. Also, the final boss is a little too easy. You don't have to kill a single zombie and you can just run in circles for 5 minutes. I think a soul box of some sort would have been a great addition in order to keep the player on their toes, so zombies can continue to spawn in through those portals that show up, allowing them to cut the player off. When playing this map with some friends, one of us managed to get outside the map and couldn't get back in with the gravity spikes and jetpack, but he was trying his hardest to break the map, so that was kind of fun. The story of the Nova 6 series doesn't end here. Our crew is in the lander on the way to the Himalaya Mountains in Nepal to unearth the secrets of Fury's Temple. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe so you can stick around for when I go over the next map in the series. Thanks for watching.